Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reconvene Sessions. We're so happy that you made it out to join us this morning or afternoon or evening, depending where you're viewing from. We can't wait to hear from some amazing speakers and event creators today. My name is Alex Gallinari. I am a brand and community marketing manager at Eventbrite, and I'll be your host today. I'm coming to you live from our headquarters in beautiful San Francisco, California. Eventbrite's Reconvene Sessions is an ongoing event series covering what's new, what's next, and what really matters for event creators. These events are meant to empower creators to share experiences, building and hosting events while passing along useful strategies for your events and businesses. Really quick, in order to participate in the chat today, you'll need to create a YouTube channel. If you haven't done this already, it's really easy. It only takes a few seconds. All you need to do is follow the prompts on YouTube. For those of us who are logged in already, let's say hello to each other in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from and what you're looking forward to learning in today's session. I see people from Santa Cruz, West Coast, Florida, East Coast. I'm a New York native myself. See some folks from the UK, Illinois, got the full country represented. The Big Apple, New York City. I love it. All right, I'm really excited about today's session. It's called Spread the Word, Creative Ways to Market Your Event. You know, as a marketer myself, I am constantly on the lookout for new tactics that reach and engage people in new and exciting ways. And today we're going to learn about some of those different tactics from three incredible event creators who have really built thriving brands on the back of their unique marketing. First up, we'll hear from Taylor Crenshaw, who is the founder of Gold Beams, an independent platform offering an array of experiences built for Black creatives. To help her grow independently, Taylor has had to think outside the box, and she'll share ideas and strategies to make your event stand out. Next, we'll hear from Prashant, founder of the popular dance night Jai Ho and the event production powerhouse Bollywood Dreams. For those of us who are building from the ground up, Prashant will offer insights on making the most of your marketing budget, including tools and channels to make the most impact, even with modest means. And then finally, we'll hear from Brittany Floyd Mayo, founder of Trap Yoga Bay, a unique yoga experience that transcends the typical. We'll talk more about that later. And she's going to offer guidance on how to build a unique brand that will get your event noticed. We're so excited to have our speakers in the chat with you today. So feel free to ask them questions during the presentations and they'll do their best to jump in and answer live. If y'all are in the chat, say what's up. They'll also join us for a live Q&A at the end of today's session, so stick around. Now, before we get into it, I just want to make sure that we are all set up for success. We are a community of creators who strive to create community for others through events. So we want to model what community looks like. Let's encourage one another. Let's be curious and be grounded in the spirit of learning. The chat will be monitored and harassment of any kind will not be tolerated. A full recording of today's session will be posted with closed captions after the event on Eventbrite's YouTube channel. And additionally, feel free to connect with one another in the chat. We have, as you've seen, creators joining from all over the globe. And whether you're looking to build with somebody in your city or your industry, there's such a wealth of knowledge in the room. I really encourage you to take advantage of it. If you'll be sharing anything from today's session, let's use hashtag Reconvene so that we can all connect really easily. And one last PSA from me, and that's self-care. We're all at computers all day, so feel free to take a stretch break, grab a bite to eat or something to drink. Today's session will be recorded and posted shortly after we wrap up, so I promise you will not miss a thing. And that's it from me. I'm going to introduce our first speaker, Taylor Crenshaw. Taylor is a writer, native New Yorker, who began her career working in the corporate world at AARP, Gap, and Banana Republic. She has taught at Oakland School of the Arts and has worked on the event production team at the Oakland Museum of California. She also served as the board member for Oakland Art Murmur and San Francisco's Bay Area chapter of the Howard Alumni Association. Taylor produces experiences for Black creatives through her organization Gold Beams, and there's so much more that I can say about her, but I'll let her speak for herself. Please join me in welcoming Taylor Crenshaw.
Hi, everybody. What's up? My name is Taylor Crenshaw, and today we are going to talk about unexpected ways to market your event to make sure everybody comes and has a great time and then comes back again and again. So I'm going to get into it. I'm going to start with talking more about me, aka your girl, aka Tay, aka Tails. I am a native New Yorker from Westchester, Westchester County, White Plains City. So New Yorkers, stand up. I am also a party girl. So whether you're down the block or around the world, hit me up with that Addy. I'm there. I'm also a Howard University alumna, so HU to the alumni, to the baby bison in the house. A writer, spoken word poet. I talk a lot of shit on the mic. Very much battle rap, very much bars. Hashtag more bars. Waka flocka flame bars. And then for the writing one, I feel classy. I am an event producer, which brings me here today with Eventbrite. Thank you very much. And the founder of Go Beams. Go Beams is my baby. Go Beams produces events, experiences, programming, and production for Black creatives and the Black community at large. We do fun ass shit all the time. We also are contracted to produce events for others. And so some examples of our internal events are our signature open mic series, Second Mondays, where we have everything from poets to mental illusionists to drummers to dancers to rappers to freestyle. Our freestyle cypher is at the end. It's bomb. It gives very much smack URL. It's crazy. We also have art exhibitions. We've had concerts. We've had a cabaret with the San Francisco Exploratorium that featured a Black artist, scientist, and magician. And we're contracted to do events as intimate as 20 or so people to as large as events that are hosted in 2,000-seat theaters. So, Black girl magic. You feel me? Dealing with an expert, baby. You are in good hands. So here's some pictures from our event. This is a picture from our Second Mondays events, which is me jamming. And she doing a freestyle cypher talking that, and you could tell that, you know, she really hitting it because look at my face. I'm like, I did the frown. And next to it, we have a picture from our concert, our Fourth Mondays concert. And again, if you like the pictures, there's a reason why. And I'm going to give you advice on how to get pictures as in the moment as this in this session. Yeah? You ready? Okay. So we'll start with creating a brand personality, how creating a brand personality and a brand voice helps. It helps a lot. So I want to first emphasize the power of having a logo. When you have a logo and you place it amongst really engaging images or really great copy or content or really dope merch, that energy, or have a really great influencer, a really stylish person wearing that, rocking that brand, all of that energy compounds into that brand logo. And it's a goal, hashtag goals, for you to have your logo, your brand, anything else, to alleviate the pressure of you being able to convince people to go to your event. And you want it to work for you, you know, as the fun. You want your money to work for you. You want your brand to work for you. An example for that is with Supreme, right? Supreme is just a word. It's just Supreme. But you put it on a white tee, you put it on a pair of some Louis Vuitton sneaks, and that value is going all the way up. And that's because they have really great images, really great campaigns, really great marketing that has been wrapped up into that brand. And people see all of those things when they look at that one word. And they're like, man, I'm paying $3,000 for that. those swimming goggles. Yeah. So you want to have your brand work for you. Use your brand voice, write in your real tone. I say that our events are bomb AF. We have bomb ass events because my audience talks like that. And I want them to come. We're talking to each other on the same page, right? Next is to have really great photos. Great photos. If you have the resources, make sure that you get a photographer. And when you do, give them some guidelines. Don't micromanage because they have the talents already, but give them the guidelines as a curator. For me, it's show the scale of the event. We have as many as 500 people come to our event, and I want everybody to see that. Your mother was there, your brother was there, everybody was there but you, but that's okay because we doing it next month and we got a spot for you, baby. It's lit. Everybody gonna be there, you already know. 2 is create a sense of FOMO, fear of missing out. You want people to be like, dang, I should have been there. So when that person drops into that split, when that fireworks come out, you want that. You want to get those emotional heartstrings. Get them in that room. Next, last is what I give to our photographer, Dorian Ray, at Dorian Ray on Instagram. She's so bomb. You're going to see her pictures throughout this whole thing. Is to capture people in the moment, in the moment responses, so that laugh, or that you want to capture the emotions that people are going to feel and leave people feeling you want to just capture that. You want to be like, dang, I want to be amazed, shocked and amazed too. That's what you want your people to say. If you do not have a photographer or the resources, tap your friend with the good with the good camera angles. If all of your friends are trash at taking pics, like, I'm not the best, have your people tag you in your Instagram stories, and then boom, you have those contents, and hopefully somebody has a good wrist. And last but not least on this slide is capture the data. Eventbrite allows you to email and communicate down the road with everybody who's RSVP'd to your event. Put those pictures in a little header that they have in the body, have some good copy, and you're good to go. Next, go to events. Go to events. Go to events. Go to events. Have fun. Go. Why? Because if this is your baby, if this is your business, you want to see what the competition is doing. Everybody wants to, every event, every experience is a direct competition into where people are going to go that night. Are they going to go to your event? Are they going to go to the bar down the street? And you want to know what those people are doing who have a lot of people that attend their events, what they're doing to get people there. Are they posting more reels than pictures? Are they sending out flyers and mass emails? Are they partnering with folks and showing and using it, getting people that way? And if you're like unsure of where to start, how to figure that out, think about the last event that you went to, whether it's a huge concert. I just went to the Tyler, the Creator concert. He's so bomb. And why you went, how it came across your timeline, and what made you say yes. Those are your competitive skills that you're honing in and that you're observing. Also, you get to market yourself at events. So people see you, your reflection of the brand, you're over here popping and dropping and locking. They're like, ooh, what's she do? I'm like, I be doing Second Mondays on Second Mondays. I be popping, locking there too. You can get that vibe. It's lit. So there's a direct correspondence between the amount of events that I go to and the amount of people who come to my events. When I share my Instagram, I be like, gold that means. Okay. My personal one's in the bio. Next is to drop that info everywhere. 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 So what does everywhere look like? I'm going to tell you. So 1, you got your Eventbrite. It's all up and going. You did the hashtags when you're setting up the event, so it's searchable. Other examples are Listservs. There's migrating like crazy. We're going to different cities. We're living in different places. Very much adventure time. giving me Finn and Jake. And when you go to these new places, you want to be like, where are people going? Every transplant, everybody is saying what to do. Where am I going? They're looking on Groupon, they're looking on Yelp, they're looking on Listservs. Like out here, we have Young Black and in San Francisco, where they tell you everything from events to jobs to opportunities to roommates. Okay, where are people finding events? Drop it. Facebook groups. Drop that link, baby. Don't drop that thunder. Drop that link. Corny. It's okay. Oh, last but not least with this, there are sites and newsletters that are dedicated just to show events. That's their business. So they're looking for really fun things to do. And the funner your event is, the better it makes that platform, because it's like we give credible recommendations for events. So for example, visit oakland.com, which is actually a city site. It just looks cool, which is super cool. But yeah, find those sites, drop it everywhere. I'm going to leave you now with the keys to success. Number one, very DJ Khaled. Number one, another one. Get your hands dirty and get active. We're entrepreneurs. We are doing things. We are building things. We need to see people who have found success and how they got there. We need to be in those meetings to know the language that they speak, what doesn't work, the meetings that everybody sleeps in. Why are people so tired? Because they hate it. Why do people hate it? Okay, that reason. Boom, you're going to have really great meetings now. How they're communicating with people, what insights they have, et cetera, et cetera. Get on somebody's project, get on somebody's team, volunteer, Next key, the other one. Sync with your external event partners. And external event partners, examples of those are sponsors, partners, 50-50 partners. Like our partners were Red Bull, Warriors, Lyft, the Museum of African Diaspora, the Black Joy Parade, so far and so forth. When you partner, y'all are sharing those emails. Your platform, your information, your brand, your pictures are going to be all over theirs, and they have a stake in the game. They have to post these things, just like me. I have to post these things with the logos, and it gives you credit. It gives you new audience members, etc. Step 3. Sync with your internal event partners. So that's your venue, your vendors, your contractors, like your DJ. As dope as your event is, they're going to be like, oh, I'm a DJ. Catch me spinning here. And then catch me next week. They marketing their event too. The venue, it's like, oh yeah, we have like really great events here. You want to come here because this is your event. I be sharing my photos with the venues. I have a special partnership with my venue now, which cut my venue cost by $1,000 for our main event. Very helpful for me. And so creating opportunities with your peoples around you, and them then being so happy, promoting it everywhere, thus promoting you. Last but not least, study your dream event series. It's my fave. So watching concerts like the Broccoli festivals like the Broccoli Fest grow and have their strategy is to have satellite events and things like that, and also seeing how quick they've grown in size, what venues they've chosen as they've busted out the seams. Trap karaoke, R&B only. Their Instagram R&B only. That Instagram feed, they be showing like iPhone videos of people like dancing and stuff. It's like so funny, so cute, mad engagement. Okay, noted. Same with trap karaoke. You might find somebody busting to a split. Cool. Likes. They also tour their event series, which is also like, oh yeah, a thing. And other orgs like Afropunk is another concert series that tours. Like, how innovative. All over the world. Imagine Coachella like touring just all the time. It's like, yo, we're spreading this vibe. Oh, got it. So now I'm going to show you some images of our events. Boom, showing the scale. Boom, showing the vibes. You see my girl Tajiana is a videographer out here. She's so dope. But you got Dorian took her in the picture of that ha. All of these things are these in the moments, in the feels. And now that you see it, I'm sure you could feel it too. Same. Same. You know something's good when you do that upside down smile. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for rocking with me. You can follow us if you want to come to our events, which you do. You do. We're headquartered in Oakland. We have events in Oakland right now, but next stop the world, for real. So you want to come to our events now when it's in like that nostalgic sepia stage? Cool. And then if you want to know even more about us, you can go on our website at goldbeams.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. I gotta have you start my morning every morning. I really love that you emphasize the benefits of going to other events. Not only do you get inspired by others, but so much of building a brand is simply showing up in the spaces that you want to be a part of, to learn from others and to share what you're creating. So thank you so much. All right, up next is Prashant. Prashant's story is one of transformation, from growing up in a lower middle class family in Mumbai, India, coming to the US for a PhD at Cornell University, working at Intel for several years, and then leaving that all behind in 2009 to rediscover himself as a full-time entertainer, bringing India's vibrant and festive culture to the United States. Over the last 12 years, Prashant has worked relentlessly to foster communities in various small towns and big cities across the US centered around a shared love for cultural music and dance. Please give it up for DJ Prashant.
Thank you, Alex and Eventbrite. Hi, everybody. My name is Prashant, and I am the founder of Jai Ho Dance Party and Bollywood Dreams Entertainment. And I'm here to talk about how to make the most of your marketing budget and even share a lot of tools with you. So a little bit about me first. I established a dance party called Jai Ho. Jai Ho means be victorious. And I did that after working at Intel for over 3 years and getting truly frustrated with that life. I wanted to be able to do something with my life that brought a lot of joy to a lot of people. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to go back to India and take part in the Indian Idol because I love to sing and dance. But it just so happened that I learned about DJing and fell in love with it. I taught myself how to DJ and decided to throw a dance party that incorporates dance lessons as part of the whole event, so people get really comfortable, learn a little bit about Indian culture, music, and dancing. And it's something that I've done nonstop since 2010. I've hosted over 500 of these parties, which I've produced, organized, promoted, and performed at. And I've done that consistently in over 8 cities. So it's been a long ride. It's been a very joyful ride. Here's some photos from it. These are from Seattle and Portland. These are my 4 parties in Denver. I did one in New Orleans. So on the left-hand side, this was a color festival. As far as I know, it was the first time that New Orleans had India's Festival of Colors presented. And it was so much fun. It's so much fun to be able to do this. However, I know that when I started it, I had to learn about marketing my events because there was nobody else doing that. I'm such a small business, just one person business at the time. And I remember immediately feeling like it is so uncomfortable to market because I felt like I had to talk about myself and tell people about this event that I am doing and that they have to come out and dance with me. And it was just, and honestly, it's an ongoing journey. I've gotten a lot better at it, but I can't say for 100% that these thoughts don't creep in. But that's something that happens. I felt like it was very self-centered of me to market these events. I also felt extremely overwhelmed. And again, it's not something that I've completely, conquered, but it's an ongoing dialogue because, like anybody else, I open up my Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, and I look at the content that people are creating. Maybe some people are posting 3 times a day, and maybe the quality of the posts that they're doing, it just feels overwhelming. I'm like, I don't know how people are doing this, so it's something that I struggled with a lot. And I also felt like marketing is going to be so expensive, like thousands upon thousands of dollars. And I don't know how I could do that for a dance party that I want to throw. And all of these are legitimate questions, and there are things that I've learned about them as I've had to investigate deeper. And one of the things I've learned is that I had to question myself, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And a simple answer for me from the very first party to right now is because I personally enjoy music and dancing and DJing. It brings a lot of joy to me, and I feel like it brings a lot of joy to people. And as I've hosted events, I have seen it that it brings a lot of joy to people. So really, I've learned to tweak the idea of marketing being self-centered to more about it being other-centered. By being able to create these events, I'm creating spaces that feel safe, inclusive, joyful. People learn about culture, about music and dance. People find community on the dance floor. And so for me, it is a tool. It's a means to an end. The end being able to create these amazing experiences, and marketing is very much a part of it. So it truly, one doesn't have to go to a yoga mat and do yoga, although it's totally fine to do that. But marketing is also just as much a spiritual practice and about discipline as any of these other tools are. Another thing I've learned is that marketing is a way for me to always learn about new things and to always grow, because things constantly change. There was TikTok, there were Reels, and who knows what else is going to come our way. But all of these things give us an opportunity to learn and grow. And that's great to be able to be in that mindset rather than be in the mindset of like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. Why do they change that? Why do they do that? When those thoughts come in, it's an opportunity for me to look at and question as to like, is that really serving me? And if it's not, then being able to let go of that mindset and come into a place of learn and growth, I think is super awesome. Another thing I've learned about marketing is that you can get really resourceful with it. And I certainly have and continue to do so. So I want to share some tools with you all. The number one tool that I can tell you about is to be able to leverage your network. When you talk about your ideas or your business with your friends and family, those specific ones that get really excited about it, being able to bring them in so that whatever you're doing, for me, my dance party is a completely community experience. It's put together by a community and it's for the community. So being able to connect with people, being able to share your ideas with them, being able to make space for their ideas with you, it's something that you can practice even in this Reconvene session, being able to reach out to people, share your ideas, learn about their ideas, and keep an eye for people who get excited about what you're doing and make sure that you bring them into your network. Another thing is just looking at something like Facebook groups. When I go to different cities and throw dance parties, I can go to Seattle and I can look up Seattle Dance Party or Seattle Music Fans or Seattle Electronic Music Group, and being able to share the information about my dance parties in these groups is a super simple, free way for us to get the word out. Now, one of the things that is important is to be able to look at the content that you're creating. And when you're creating content, again, it's something that I used to think that, oh my God, I need to hire a graphic designer or photographer, et cetera, et cetera. And you can do that, but you can also completely do it for free. So for example, this flyer that you see on the screen, I made it entirely for free on canva.com, which is a free website, has a good desktop app. And, some of those elements in the flyer, Desi swag, are not something that I designed. I wish I was that talented, but I was able to go on another website and download this element for free and then bring that into Canva and create this flyer in this way. Something else that I've learned and realized is that the smartphone that almost all of us have is an extremely amazing tool to be able to take photos, to be able to take videos at my events, and then, cut them into a reel or cut them into a recap video afterwards. Super duper easy, super duper. You already have the phone. It's all about learning the different tools. Maybe the camera app has, portrait mode, and what does it do? Can you take slow motion videos? And always remembering when we do all of this is that the content we create, over 70% of the content gets viewed on cell phones. So being able to test everything you create, whether it's your website, your photos or videos or your flyers, being able to test on your phone and make sure that they look and feel the way you want them to on that platform is super duper important. Speaking of platforms, I do want to talk about Eventbrite, and I feel like I could give a full lecture just about Eventbrite. A lot of this information I've learned by going on their blog, by searching on YouTube. These are some of the things that I've learned, and I'm sure there's more, but I'm going to touch on 3 things that are absolutely available for free. The first one is to be able to email people using Eventbrite's platform. You can do up to 2,000 emails per day. And I've personally gained over $4,000 in ticket sales by being able to do this completely for free. Another thing is when you create an event on Eventbrite, you can actually connect it directly with Facebook, so that not only do you just have to create event once on Eventbrite, it gets automatically created on Facebook, but more importantly, it also integrates the get ticket button on Facebook events when you do it this way. So you could get somebody that just happens upon your event and they're able to buy ticket right there through Facebook's platform, and you never have to go to facebook.com for this to happen. You can do it all on eventbrite.com, which I thought is amazing. The third thing is something that I learned about just this year, and I've found it to be so helpful, which is that Google and other search engines have a certain way that you need to submit events for them to start showing up to public. So for example, if I want to throw a Bollywood party in LA, if I wanted to list that so that it shows up for people who are going on Google, it's an extremely cumbersome process, very difficult, challenging. However, I learned that if I just post my event on Eventbrite, it takes, sometimes it takes up to 10 days, but it automatically shows up when people search for, let's say if they search for Bollywood party in LA, and if I have an event coming up, it's listed on Eventbrite, it's automatically going to show up on Google. So you'll start to get organically people who find out about your event and sign up for it, which I think is amazing. Again, exactly $0 spent, and all of this information and all of these tools. If you do have a little bit of money that you're able to put aside, then even for as little as $15 a month, you can send 6,000 emails. So this is especially important as your network starts to grow and you want to reach out more people. You can use this feature for as little as $15 a month. Additionally, if you want to do Facebook and Instagram ads, which I highly encourage you to look into, we all know that those platforms on Facebook, the ads manager is extremely difficult to navigate. It's very hard to figure out what to do, where to go, and all that. So Eventbrite's Boost is actually a lot more easier and user-friendly and intuitive to handle. It allows you to immediately figure out, upload some photos, upload some videos, what title you want your ad to be, etc., etc. Super easy. You can integrate your Facebook and Instagram accounts so that your ads can start running on both of those platforms and more, in fact. And the best thing is that you can get marketing insights. So once you've done a certain campaign, you can come back to it, take a look at it, see what worked, what didn't work. Maybe certain ad sets or certain designs work better. You can do that. You can start to have very easily, you can have audiences where you can retarget people who came to your previous event. You can do a lookalike of that audience, or you can go to a much broader interest audience, and then you can go in your insights and see which one of these audiences is actually giving you the best return on your investment. So super awesome tool, Eventbrite Boost. I highly encourage you. I know, friends, that there's so much that I can tell you, and I've tried my best to cover as much as I can. But if there's anything else that you need more information about, absolutely do not hesitate to connect with me. My handle is Dream Prashant on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. It's also the same, and I release a new mashup every Monday on my YouTube channel. I'd love for you to check out my music. I'd love to dance with you. And if you have any questions, I'd love to connect with you and see what I can help you with. So again, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Eventbrite, for having me. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your session. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant. I'm not sure how you did it, but you just made marketing seem pretty simple to me. And I love that you reframed it from being self-centered to other-centered. I think that's really important. All right, it's time for our final speaker, Brittany Floyd Mayo, aka Trap Yoga Bay. Brittany is a Forbes-ranked yoga and mindset coach who designed a yoga experience that combines vinyasa-style yoga and affirmations with the heavy bass rhythms of trap music spun by a live DJ. She recently expanded her reach by launching a community app and monthly membership to affirm lifestyles of wellness and total self-care. Give it up for Brittany Floyd Mayo.
Thank you, Alex, for such a warm introduction. I am so excited to be here, but I've only got a few moments to impart some really important information to you. So let's just jump in. Today, I am going to talk to you about how to set yourself apart. Basically, we want to go through how to engage building a social media following with me, Brittany Floyd Mayo of Trap Yoga Bay. Let's get into it. So before I start telling you what to do, maybe I'll take a moment and qualify myself. And it starts with the brand. A lot of people call me Trap Yoga Bay, but Yoga Bay is really about the community. It's the every face of women who want to have that confidence, who want to show up, and typically who want to show up through wellness and self-care, but felt ostracized from the typical yoga experience. So we started off as a world touring brand, and we have hosted events in over 7 countries and had over 2.8 million women come to our classes in person and virtual. And since 2017, when I taught that first class in San Francisco, we've been able to leverage social media, word of mouth, and brand partnerships to now create what people call, or Forbes called, an cult-like following. So what I really want to embark upon you is how to do that yourself. All right. And just to point out, we did the yoga events and now we're doing a lot of online coaching. But now that the world is open, what's next for us is conferences. And let's talk about who I am, me, Brittany, as the person. I, went on this self-care journey, this self-discovery journey that landed me in India. And when I got there, I felt like I finally found myself. When I came back from India and started interacting with my old friends and trying to get back to my old life, I realized that it wasn't going to be easy for me to sustain the change that I felt and that I learned without the people around me. So the whole purpose in me starting this community, starting Trap Yoga Day, was to enhance other women's lives, to give them that, unshakable confidence and to make friends. And I have lots now. Online, on my social media, lots of friends, as I like to call them, bae friends. There's about 114,000. So we've done something right. I've done something right, and I want you to do it right too. Let's get to the next slide. Those are some classes. Now, the advice on how to grow and build this social media. I say it starts with doing whatever TF you want. But let me be more specific about that. When we think about the events that we show up at, or that we create, or the content that we create, we realize that you can be anybody you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. So why not be yourself? Why not do you? And it's so easy to get caught up in who other people say you are. Someone might say, oh, you have really beautiful hair, so you should start, hair care events. But just because you got nice hair doesn't mean that that's your passion. Just because you identify with a certain group, it doesn't mean that that's your passion. And so what I highly recommend is doing the thing that means the most to you. The thing that when you do it, it's you showing up as yourself, being yourself, because that's going to make it so much easier to create that content that's going to engage your crowd. It's going to make it so much easier for you to just show up. Because when you're showing up authentically, you don't have to think about, how do I frame this version of me? How do I get people to see this? What you're doing is saying, I am being who I am authentically, and I just want to capture those moments. So that's also some extra gems just dropped right there. I hope you're listening. The next piece of advice or insight that I have is, I want you to not be afraid of not being forever. I kid you not. Once every 3 months, I make a series of posts that make it very, very, very clear on some of the things I stand on. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like political statements or anything that's happening, in the world. But it's saying this is who I am for, this is what I do. Because I'm on social media and I've got a cute face and a big ass and I like to shake it, a lot of times people get confused and they think that I'm there for the edification of men. And it's okay for them to do the art, but I'm very, very serious about transforming the lives of women through showing up authentically and showing up what confidence looks like. So every couple of months, I just make a post that says, don't get it twisted. Everything I do for the ladies. And do I see people stop following me for that? Absolutely. But what we're trying to do is build authentic community. And when you show up in that way and you are honest and transparent and speaking clearly about who you're for, and quite frankly, it's okay, who you're not for, then that's one of the ways that you create die-hard fans, friends, or whatever it is that you call, whatever I call my people, they friends. Now, speaking of my good friends and these polarizing statements, it's also really important to show them that you are there for them. What I'm saying is, do not be afraid to stand up for your audience's values. If you ride for them, they will ride for you. I like to think of this analogy of sports. Okay, people want someone to root for them. And some people like rooting for the underdogs. So show authentically, even if you're not getting it. Some people love just rooting for the winning team. So be a winner and be on your way there. But think about it like this. There are hundreds of thousands of fans for professional sports, right? And they know that there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that they are ever going to end up playing in that football field. For some reason, they still buy the jersey. People want to root for something. They want to know that there's something that they can believe in because it helps them build communities. It helps them build camaraderie. It helps them convey emotions and really just give them something to belong to. If you've ever known anything about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right below, right above, making sure you have food and shelter is having a sense of belonging. And so when we're talking about creating a niche and being clear about who you're with and who you're for and standing up for them and their rights and their values because they're your rights and your values, because remember, you're doing what you want to do and you're being who you are authentically, then that's how you create a following that will talk about you, that will send your content to other people's pages, that will share your events, that will drag their friends. Be loud and be proud. After you figure out who you are, be loud and be proud. They want to root for you. All right? What did I say? Be loud and be proud. And then, lastly, and this is one of the rules of my company when people start to work here. This is rule number 5, which is be extra, but don't do too much. And what I say with that is, it's really easy to just kind of like jump on what's hot, right? You know, everybody's doing this thing. Instagram's telling you, hey, here's this trending audio. You're like, oh, you know what? It could be so easy. I feel I'm going to create a mode. Let me just do this thing right quick. Don't. When people are rocking with you, they're rocking with you for a very specific thing. And they're happy to see you evolve, but evolve consistently, not necessarily switching gears cold on them. If you decide, hey, I want to start showing this sort of content, you want to warm them up. You want to find ways to integrate because you want people to not feel like you switched up on them. There are so many changes happening in their life all the time. And when they come to your event, when they come to your page, people love familiarity, and you have to give them, you know, that sense of security and safety. That sense of when I'm rocking with this person, with this brand, with their event, I know what to expect. I know the feeling that I'm going to have. You become like their favorite restaurant, their favorite song. You know, people, the thing that beautiful experience you created for them the first time, they're coming back for that high every single time. And so when we talk about, you know, them rooting for your evolution and being consistent, it also means don't just start putting stuff out there to put stuff out. Just because you got a new boo, if your page is not a relationship page, or if y'all not doing this event thing together, if, you know, you are throwing events, but your events are not family friendly, and you got this beautiful baby, unless your social media page is dedicated to you as the person beyond the brand, if it's a brand page, they don't care. If you're a hairstylist, we don't really want to see what you ate. So just keep it in mind that even though there are these things that you're excited about, if your page is dedicated to your brand and what your brand does, that's all that people want to see. Remember, they want to see what's familiar, they want to see what's consistent, and unless you're a lifestyle brand or the thing that you're showing is somehow related to what it is that you do, it's non-sequitur. All right, so you're gonna have to just be consistent and give the people what they want. All right, I hope you're listening to that. So just some insight to take away. Your social media should reflect everything your brand stands for. Don't be afraid. And remember, nothing else. Do not get swept up in the tide and start talking about things that have nothing to do with what it is that you offer the world, of how it is that you look at it. Because I'm assuming whatever it is that you're doing, you're making the world better. Because if not, it's going to be good. And when we walk away from this, because I am a coach, right? I've got my master's degree in positive psychology and social behavioral studies. And in my coaching programs, I see hundreds of women at any given time. And I like to give homework. So if you thought you were going to get away from this without a little homework from me, baby, you would be really good. So for our homework, what I want you to do is ask yourself these 3 questions, because this is going to help you figure out what that niche is. This is going to help you figure out what that benchmark is and how it is that you're going to share it. Okay? So you're going to ask yourself 3 questions. Question number 1. What is something that I enjoy doing? And not just kind of like, and not just good at. What is something that even if I could, or even if I could get paid for it, I would do it for free? I'm not saying that you should, but that you enjoy it so much that when it's happening, you're almost in flow. You look up and you don't realize it's been several hours. Because the truth is, this stuff gets hard, and it's tedious, and it's time consuming, and it's a gamble. And so when you're doing the thing, you damn sure gotta be doing something that you enjoy doing, right? And not just enjoy doing it, but something I can't stop talking about. For me, it's confidence. For me, it's joy. For me, it's mindset hacking. Like, I could be in my sleep, and if I hear someone starting that conversation, I'm going to rise like I'm rising from the dead and jump right into it, because that is how passionate I am about it. And when you're passionate about it and you can't stop talking about it, the content will flow right out of you, right? And again, if I could do this all day, would I do it for free? So it looks like those questions that I have, internal questions, they're so inside of me that I just didn't even need to read them and say them, and I put them all together. But you get the point, all right? I am looking forward to your success. I am looking forward to you contributing to my work. I am looking forward to your joy. I'm looking forward to you finding me on social media and letting me know how this impacted you. Or actually, like, let's just chat for a moment. I'm gonna stick around and we can talk about it. Again, my name is Brittany Floyd, and I'm the founder and creator of Trap Day, a world touring, twerking, live music, ratchet affirmation, culturally relevant. Did I say twerking? Yeah, twerking, yoga experience, and mindset coach.
Thank you so much, Brittany. It's so important to keep in mind that your brand starts with you. You live it, you breathe it, and you will be the one responsible for making it succeed. So you got me pumped up. I'm ready to take on the world. I hope you all are too. But before we do, it's time to ask our speakers a few questions. So let's welcome them to the stage. Start dropping your questions in the chat. And while our speakers are getting set, what's up, y'all? A quick plug for our post-event survey. We really appreciate your feedback on today's session so we can continue to improve, make these more useful for you. Our team is dropping a link in the chat. We also have it in the YouTube live description. Take a few minutes after our Q&A and share your thoughts. What's up, Taylor? What's up, Brittany?
Yo.
Waiting for Prashant. But as we're getting started, there he is. What's up, Prashant?
Hello.
Hello. Thank you all so much for being with us today. I want to get right into it. So, because we got some awesome questions. I want to give the people what they want, right, Brittany? So, first question. Taylor, this one is for you, but curious what other people think as well. Do you share other events on your Instagram?
Hell yeah, I do. Not only I share them in my stories, because to Brittany's point, you want to focus your meat and potatoes on the brand, your brand, and what you do. But in our email newsletters and on our Instagram stories, there's an increase in traffic when I show the other events that are happening locally, and then people have a second reason to come to us. We are now the site to see what to do in general. So absolutely. And plus, big enough, these are our partners. These are our colleagues. These are our peers. And it just builds that network of community, and scratch your back, you scratch ours, and it costs me nothing. It means everything to you, doing it.
I love that. Prashant, how about you? How much do you share other events? Like we talked a lot about partnerships today, but sometimes you're competing events. Any experience out there? Taylor, I think it was you that said it. Everybody's looking for something to do. Every experience is potential competition. How do you think about sharing other events on your channels?
I think it's a great question. The main thing is, for me, I feel like we need to create a scene. Once a city has a scene, people are enjoying going out dancing. They're enjoying exploring other music aside from what's just commercially available. That helps everybody. So at every opportunity I get, I try to share other events. But even better, I like to bring DJs from other musical scenes together. So I started a party called Dance United, and as part of what I do is just last weekend we did Afrobeats meets Bollywood in Seattle. So it had to have an Afrobeats DJ, an Afrobeats dancers, and Bollywood DJs and Bollywood dancers coming together. So it's a great way for me to branch out and learn more about other cultures of the music, and it's just an amazing way to bring other creators onto your event as well. So I would say go a step further, share for sure, and then see how you can collaborate. Always see how you can work well with other people who might be considered your competitors.
Love that. Brittany, how about you?
Yeah, for my page, you see, I was all about like, hey, give the people very, very specific. And so there isn't so much as other events that I share. Most of the time it's partnerships. Something that I am big on is giving people, I call them other iterations or mirrors. When I find another woman, in the yogi space or in the coaching space, I want to share that, because although there's a lot of shared similarities between me and say, any other coach, Chelsea loves yoga, there are nuanced differences in ways that people are going to see themselves in that other Black female yogi or in that other Black mindset coach. So for me, it's not as much as sharing events as sharing other energies. When I encounter it and I'm like, she reminds me of me. And what happens if I want to take a vacation? She might not be. And I never want my people to not be without that energy or that inspiration. So for me, it's more of finding other energies that are similar and consistent, right? Because anytime we post something, I think it's very important to say, when you post someone else's event, or Prashant, when you bring another DJ in, you are inherently stamping, approval on that. And you can see I'm very serious about my followers, my Bay friends, and very protective over them. So I vet and I share because I want them to experience each other, and not to go into too deep. But mostly what I share is the community. I share them with each other. I make sure that at my events that I get them to interact and interface, and that everyone understands that I'm not the star of the show. You came to see me, but you're going to leave here with the community. So other people like me, and I have them share the gifts of themselves with the other people in the event space.
Right. It's like, even in partnerships, staying true to yourself, that big point that you left us with. I think that's super important. Thanks, y'all. Taylor, I got another question for you. This one comes from the user Courage Over Fear. They never thought about a listserv. Where do you find listservs?
Yeah, asking friends. So when I first moved to the Bay, the Young Black and in San Francisco thread was super, super, super important to me. And I actually found this wonderful place on that listserv. But you can also Google. Search it in a way that you would if you were in a new city and trying to find something to do. And whatever website, whatever group, Prashant mentioned Facebook groups. I drop things in open mic groups all the time. Whatever comes up are now your platforms to use to market, because it's findable.
Yeah, I love that. Put yourself in the audience's shoes. Make yourself a consumer, and then follow that same path. I really like that. All right, Prashant, this one's for you. It comes from Sweat at Zero Fitness and Wellness. How long before an event do you recommend to start marketing? Because sometimes you can be too early. Is there any magic time frame for it?
Yeah, definitely. I do feel that it can change a lot based on what it is that you're trying to do. Obviously, if you've got a second Monday's event, then you need to start as on Tuesday, after your event is done. You need to have it. But really, if you want to start on Tuesday, to take that example, 2 weeks before that, you need to get the flyer ready. You need to get the content ready. You need to have an idea, what am I doing differently this second Monday versus last second Monday? So you need to constantly be thinking about it. But I think 6 weeks is the bare minimum that I would say you need to get into it and give yourself at least a solid 1 month. But also, it's really important to think of that last stretch. I think somebody mentioned in the comments that most of the ticket sales happen in the last day or two. So it's very important to start early, be prepared early, be consistent, but remember to save your most energy for the last 48 hours or so, when you really need to be out there, whatever it takes, whatever way works best for you, making stories, making reels, going live and talking to people. I'm a big believer of turning the camera towards you and talk to people so they see your passion. It also challenges you. Like if you record a video and you're like, oh God, I don't look passionate about this, then you need to ask yourself a question. Why is that happening? But I think the last 48 hours are very important also, but I would say at least 6 weeks to answer the question.
Gotcha. So at least 6 weeks, but the earlier you get it out there, the more time it has to be discovered by people, but save that power punch for the last 48 hours. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that, Prashant.
I think Taylor also has some things she wants to add.
Taylor.
And also track the ticket sales by, well, for me, I track my ticket sales every day, the week before the event. So I know if I have 10 tickets sold on the Monday before, that I'm going to have X event, 110 by Monday. And then I can count it. And also too, the day before our tickets double. So on Sunday, or Monday morning, I know what we're expecting. And this is super helpful because we had an event on yesterday during a Warriors game in the Bay. And I was able to catch that early because I know the seasonality by the month. We've been doing this for 4 years, and I know the seasonality by the day. And I can see like, okay, I need to go hard in the Facebook groups or in the this or in the that, or like, oh, we're going to have a big day. We need to have extra people. So start capturing your own data.
Love that. All right. I think we have time for one or two more questions. I got one for the group. Brittany, we'll start with you. Any suggestions for the balance of how much detail to include in a Facebook event or your marketing info to entice people without losing their interest?
Ooh, very good question. People just want to know that they are going to be welcome and they're going to have a good time. Let me make it real clear. They don't read, y'all. They don't save your copy for the worthy. Don't do that. They really just want to. And a lot of times, because we have our own sense of unworthiness and concern, we oversell it and we sell the method and we sell the back end. And really, they just want to know. So I would say save your copy. And Taylor did such an amazing job explaining the importance of images. When you're looking at something, especially like as a woman of color, I'm looking at an event or a restaurant or whatever, and I'm like, are there other brown girls there? Okay, what are people wearing? All of those social anxieties that come into mind when you're considering going to an event and things that might hold you back. So I would say literally just as little copy as possible. It's going to be a good time. This is what to expect. This is who's going to be there. And images, because a lot of times, especially as event creators, we're creatives. We have the vision. The people who attend our events, they don't have the vision. They need to see that it happened. So as best as you can, social proof. If you don't have your own events yet, going to other people's events and partnering and having your friend, you say, hey, I'm about to go to, this poetry slam and I'm gonna get on the stage and take a picture of me, friend, at this. And for my event, I'm gonna put up there because I'm gonna be on the stage. I just ain't got the lights yet. You know what I mean? So I think really conveying the experience through imagery and leaving very little for words, because for words, you really want to let people come up with their own story and with their own idea of what their experience is going to be like, because you can't tell people how they're going to feel. You can only really show it.
Yeah, that old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
It really is. Or 1,000 words. Hey.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, Taylor or Prashant, on that? Like, how much do you tease out in your event listings and in your marketing versus, how much you want to be explicit?
Yeah. On the heels of Brittany, tell people what they're signing up for. So we have a talk series called Talk It Out, where we talk about the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that society pretends doesn't exist. And then every month we have themes. We talk about sex, we talk about social anxiety, we talk about all these things. And so like I'll put little bullet points, use headers, use bullet points to block things out for like keywords. So if people are looking for like, oh, what is this about? Or, can kids come? Or, is there free drinks? It's all blocked out in the headers, and their eye can hit that thing like right there and they can find it. So headers, bullets, and let people know like what we're going to be doing. So step 1, step 2, step 3, what we're talking about, etc.
Love that.
I do agree with both Taylor and Brittany. However, for me, I think it really just also depends on what audience you're bringing. So a lot of the times, the people that are attending my events, not all, but maybe I would say 5 to 10% have just moved from India, and they're looking for that community here in the US, and my dance parties become that safe space for them to come out and see people that look like them, that are from the same region of the world as they are. And sometimes simple things like, hey, you need to actually, if you don't have a US state issued ID, you need to bring an original passport of yours. A copy of it may not work. So there are these details that I've learned over the years that I just know that if I don't put it out there and somebody doesn't read it or whatever, and it's true, a lot of people don't read, but some people do read. And for me as an event creator, I've realized that this can become an issue where people show up, and my heart breaks when somebody showed up with all the joy and they wanted to be there and they cannot enter. So I try my best to communicate some important things that I know for my events that they need to know beforehand, that they need to be 21 plus. I do color festival party, and I want to make sure that people don't bring their own color powder, that they'll be provided, etc., etc. So it is important to really focus on your event and make sure that the things that are really important are communicated beforehand. Aside from, obviously, always start with the fun and joyful for sure, but I think leave space for the really important things as well.
Thank you, Prashant. And for us, we tend to put those details on the other side of the ticket thing. It's like, oh yeah, you will need to bring your own yoga mat, because you'd be surprised on the yoga class without a yoga mat. But for us, we find it better to put it on the back end, because they just want to know, for our audience, they just want to know, am I going to be happy here? Am I going to be safe? And then we're like, okay, you bought your ticket, great. Let's talk logistics. You're not getting in without a yoga mat, baby. So thank you guys for that insight.
That's a really good idea too. I need to look into how I can maybe invest time and energy into communicating with the people who've bought tickets. It's just the nature of my events. Most of those ticket sales happen in the last 24 hours. So then it's hard but I think yoga is a little bit different. People are a little bit more well-planned and they plan to attend. So again, I think this is great information for everybody watching, that it can be tailor-made and if it's made by Taylor, it's going to be really fun as well.
Oh man, so true. Yeah, like know your audience. Over time, you'll learn more and more about your audience, what information they need. You're going to learn after every event. There was actually a question that came through that was asking, do you host an event debrief after each of your events? And is this important?
Like with your team or with the attendees?
With your team, I would assume.
You have to. How else are you going to learn? Yeah. You got to know what went great. I always ask 3 questions. What should we start doing? What should we stop doing? And what should we keep doing? Those are the only 3 questions we ask in the debrief. Start, stop, and keep doing. Super important. If you want to grow, if you are committed to excellence, if you are committed to bringing people something that makes sense, you have to let your ego down after the event and be willing to ruin that event high with, yeah, y'all messed up, for us, it's really important.
I completely agree. When we're doing pre-production for an event day of, my team and I first when we're in the pre-production, I explain why I'm doing everything. So we had the most comfortable seats in the first row. Why? Because nobody wants to sit in the front row, but they do want to sit in the most comfortable seats. Boom, got it. People tell me like, oh, during check-in, it was like too cluttered. There was a bottleneck because of this. Okay, boom. All right, we know that now. Other things that I talk about with my team. People are hungry. A lot of places and restaurants are closed on Mondays in the Bay, and it's really expensive to eat near the venue of one of our signature events. Oh, we need food vendors. Oh, okay. Lit. People stay longer during the intermission. And actually, when the event was at my house, I would notice people would leave early. When we started with 7 people around the dining room table. And that was because people didn't eat. And so we started having free food, free wine. And those people with corporate jobs who had got off and didn't have time to have dinner yet, they were like, oh, staying longer. So just like when I discussed having your brand work for you, you want to, as your art, as an event curator, add these special layers so that the event does the work for itself. People are already like, oh, we need to have drinks. I bet, because I want people live. Now I don't have to be on the mic like, get up, get on up. You know what I mean? That look at it. You know? So, yeah, just hearing it, I have my team talk to our vendors all the time. Did you make your vendor fee? So we know if that's a good price, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Very important.
Yeah, I don't think I have a lot more to add here. Wonderfully said. Important to debrief, important to ask those questions. I do feel like I end up doing, and it's just me, one person traveling to a lot of cities, and sometimes I miss that right away, but I will make sure that I will come back on Monday and Tuesday, and especially if something didn't go well. I feel like I tend to be a little bit more nitpicky as to why the attendance was lower here, et cetera, et cetera. I think I maybe will let it slide if it went well, but I need to look at what went well and focus on that as well. So it's always things to learn.
Always. We were supposed to end a little while ago, but we got some more questions. Y'all cool to stay around for a couple more?
Sure.
All right, cool. There was one, let me find it. This one is about kind of like partnerships. Any tips on pitching to collaborate for events? You know, Taylor, you mentioned you've worked with a couple brands. Brittany, I know you have as well. Prashant, I'm sure you have too. Like, any tips on collaborating with other events or event sponsors to make your work appealing to them?
Yes. One of the major things is to see what that brand likes and values. And I'll give and also to understanding the capacity and having a specific ask with that. So for example, people will ask me to partner, like, let's partner on this event, but it'll be something completely different of what I do. And it'll be here and there. And it's like, oh, what's the budget? This and the third, because it's our business. And, that might cost $1,200, you know? And so being like, okay, I have this idea for a partnership. Here's the budget. Here's the place. Here's why. Here's how you fit in. If you feel like there's more that brand can offer, like it's a larger brand than yours, here's how this is going to be super, super simple for you. Have it all mapped out already. So, you know, people just drag and drop. That's it. Make it easy for people, and make it attractive for people. I know we have a large partner that we partner with the events with, and their value from us is that they have the bigger name. And then for us, it's like, we gonna production manage that. So they might not have the time. We have the time. It's lit. We got this. We'll contact all the vendors, all the contractors, all the DJs. We'll work on the run of show. We'll do X, Y, and Z. We'll blah, blah, blah. So know what to ask, make it easy, and do some like research and things just to make sure that it's not like, be my partner. You know, it's like a relationship, you know? Keep your relationships, you know, cute and sexy, and know your partner.
Yeah, she said it. I'm like, know what you want. A lot of times people will come and approach with integrity and respect. You know, it's okay to approach a brand and be like, look, this is what y'all don't have, but you need to also let them know how you bring that to the table and how you're going to respectfully solve that problem. For me, like one of my big brand partners is Lululemon. And when I came to them in partnership, I was like, look, okay, I'm Black, I'm queer, I'm a woman, I do yoga. Y'all got a problem. People don't see that. And I want better for you guys. And so coming with that level of honesty and integrity and even boundaries on either side. And I'll say that the big attitude is know your worth. Don't come and they're like, oh, well, what's your budget? You like, well, what y'all gonna give me? Girl, if you don't tell them what you want, you just tell people like what it is that you want. And if you're not sure what your value is, you need to take a step back and figure out that value before you go starting asking people for things. And don't just be overexcited because it's a big brand if you can't deliver. There have been several opportunities that have come my way. And quite frankly, I knew that my company didn't have the infrastructure to make good on that deal. And it's really hard to let those deals go. But you're like, I can get this deal today and like fuck it up. Or I can say, hey, I'm not ready and I'll come back to you when I am. And that has, for me, turned $2,000 deals into $100,000 deals because I was honest that I wasn't ready and I didn't have the infrastructure. And when I came back, I had my numbers, I had my team, this is exactly how I'm going to do it. And, don't take $5 today when you can be getting 5 million tomorrow. Get to tomorrow. Believe it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'll say one more thing with partnerships, or did I lose it? It'll come back to me, but yeah, it's a lot of wealth in here. It's a lot of wealth in here.
All right, I got one last question. I'm gonna put you all on the spot. We're gonna help out one of our event creators in the chat right now. So Organized Life by Michelle asks, loved what you said about Eventbrite. They have an event on June 16th. I think that's in 2 days. They only have 40 views and 15 followers. I'm not sure how many tickets they've sold yet, but what do you suggest they do at this point to drive more visibility for their event in 2 days? Prashant, we're going to start with you.
Okay. It's a little bit hard for me to say because I don't know exactly what their event is. But I think that the first thing that they did already is by asking this question is a really, that's their solution based. They're looking to figure out what to do. I think it's super important. I would say some of the tips that I shared at this point of time, it sounds like they might be at least new to the Eventbrite platform. Maybe they've been doing events for a long time. Either way, is talk to your friends, family. Heck, if you go to get coffee with somebody and you strike up a good conversation, talk to them. Sometimes like having those people that you connect with organically is super important. Facebook groups is another thing that I would definitely recommend, depending upon what your event type is. There are many. I think in Portland, I have 35 groups. In Seattle, there's like 41 groups that I share every event on, and multiple times. And it's okay for you to share the event today about the one that's coming up on the 16th, but it's also really important on the 16th in the morning, last notice, like the first title could be last chance, and then talk about today, what's happening. I think it's super important to do that. But I know that the ladies are going to have a lot of advice. So I'm going to shut up and listen now.
No, don't shut up, Prashant. I like to hear you speak. All right, baby, it's go time and we can do this. All right, let's start there. I believe in you. So when you're I'm like, go mode. When we're in situations like this, you think you have 15 followers, you don't, because those 15 followers have followers and they have something in common. Those are your friends. All right, so we are about to talk about guerrilla marketing. You're going to find those 15 followers that you have, and you're going to see anybody that you know in common with them. You're going to send a group message. You're going to say, hey, friend one and friend of a friend, I'm having an event on this day. I would love for you to participate, because what you've done is you've created that connection with them. You let them know, I'm not just blind here. I know someone I know. Like, I hate multi-level marketing, but honey, they did something right? So you're jumping in those DMs of your friends and the friends of friends that they have, because that's where you are. I would do things like, because when I started, I'd started teaching over there where Taylor is. I'm from Oakland, but my biggest demographic was New York. And that was before I ever even set foot in New York in the first time in my life. So I would search things like hashtag New York Yogi, hashtag trap music New York. And I would just start commenting on people's pages, not sending DMs, because everybody reads the comments. And I'm like, damn, girl, you look like somebody who would have a lot of fun at my event, Trap Yoga, tomorrow. So you are limiting yourself to believing that only reach you have are those 15 people. Those 15 people are following you for a reason. And some of them may not be okay with it. But again, you have to learn how to get comfortable asking for things and how to get comfortable putting your stuff out there. So send those connected messages, look up those hashtags, comment on their stuff. You have access to more people than you could ever have imagined. You just need to open up your mind and see how big and bright the world is and how easily people are going to be magnetized to you for your passion and your good vibes. Do not give up. Please don't give up, ever, if you care about it. All right, soapbox off.
And I have some Olivia Pope advice too. We're gonna get it done. Where's your event? Go to your venue, go to your partners and ask them to promote your event to their channels, because you having an event in their space, your DJ, your vendors, your venue, they all have a stake in this game. So ask them to push it out, and they all probably already have a database as well. And they could do a quick post on their social media or a quick email. So that'll be super, super helpful for you. Give out personal invites. So like Prashant said, tap your friends, tap your family, because in the beginning, it's cool to just have your people in the room. It's like, all right, you getting comfortable, you seeing the flow of things like that. And when people take pictures, they're just seeing their bodies. They don't know that that's your bestie and your grandma. So do some personal invites. Also get on some websites and some newsletters. So like I said, visitoakland.com is just where people go to find events here. Some people, newsletters, there's a org out here called the Black Cultural Zone, and they have weekly newsletters of events and things happening. And so they want events. They want to promote your event. They want to have a newsletter that is fruitful. So see if you can find something like that and see if they can do a quick push. And then last but not least, if you have any pictures, go ham with sharing those pictures everywhere. If you don't have pictures, make sure that you're taking great pictures at this one. If you do not have a photographer, wipe your camera off, make sure you get some good pixels, some good light, and capture your data. Put it in Eventbrite, put it in another email platform. Get it from Eventbrite. Put it in another email platform so that you don't have to start from base one every time that you have an event. You already have your compounding guests. They already know what you do. They already co-sign. And so, grow your database so you don't have to be frantic each time, and that it gets easier and easier. And make sure you brand everything so that can follow you too. So they don't even have to know what event you're doing. They just know that this brand is doing it. They're there. Yeah. So good luck, girl. I mirror me. You got this. It's about to be a blast.
And tell us about your event so we can try to help you out. Maybe put a story or something. Tell us about your event in the comments. We're reading it right now.
And also, if your event happens and there's only 5 people there, then guess what? Those 5 people should get the VIP experience. Those 5 people are important. Those 5 people, they are divine, and they are there because of that moment to be there. So, a lot of times, we want to see a packed room, and we want to see all the bodies in that space, and we don't really give, the few people who were excited and who did show up the honor. Do not apologize. If your event is almost empty and there's 5 people there, do not apologize. They don't know what your intentions were. They don't know how the event came out. And so, I've had yoga classes that had 300 people in it. And I've had yoga classes that had 6. And when it was those 6, I actually was like, all right, well, I'm done teaching. I'm going to sit on the end of the stage and I'm going to answer all y'all's questions. And we're going to take selfies. And what? Oh, your auntie liked me, but she couldn't make it. FaceTime her. Tell her. And I'm like, auntie, why you not here, auntie? Like, oh, it's your job? I think you should quit your job because what's more important than hanging out with me, auntie? You know, and so really all of that energy you have, if you're made to be, you know, on the forefront, you still give that to the people who showed up because they are worthy. And like you said, Taylor, that's what struck that compound effect, because those 6 people are going to ride for you from that moment to the rest of life, no matter how far you make it. They're like, I remember, right? They won't remember that your event was empty. They will remember that you showed up and you gave them their all, and be prepared to be on the fly about it. Yeah. Right? They will remember that your event was empty.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but that was it.
Amazing advice. I fully resonate with everything you said, and it's important to show up like your most important to show up as your number one fan of your own event. I think, you know, because people are looking to have fun, they're looking to get out of whatever the heck is outside of your event, and so even if it's 5 people, 6 people, don't bring that energy of like, whatever happened, you can process that later, you know, like what worked, what didn't work, what you need to stop. But at the event, be fully present and enjoy. So we wish you all the best, Michelle.
Michelle, you got this. Yes. And thank you all in the chat for jumping in and joining us. And I've kept our speakers long enough. So let's send our speakers out with some love. Thank you all so much for being with us today.
Had a blast.
We gotta kick it, girl.
Huh? What you
We gotta kick it.
Oh, we definitely gotta kick it. I thought you said we gotta get a drink. I'm like, yeah, that too.
I mean, we can, you know, chop it up. Like, you're over there living it up in my hometown, and I love to hear what you're doing over there.
We can all drink chai.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Yes, I'd love to meet you both in person too. Thank you, Alex and Eventbrite, for bringing us on. This is fantastic. I learned a lot from the two of you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Can't wait to
Thank you so much.
And big love to everybody.
Love.
Thank you, everybody in the chat as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, for those who want to stick around, you know, like our speakers, they left me with some great key takeaways about marketing. And I think one thing that Taylor said that really stuck with me was to put your event information everywhere, like literally everywhere, from Eventbrite to Facebook, email lists. We talked about those, different publications, different event sites, stores, city sites, chambers of commerce. Like, get creative. If you want to spread the word, do not leave any stone unturned. I also love Prashant's focus on tools, the free ones and the paid ones that you can use to improve your marketing. Design tools like Canva to build beautifully designed digital assets, and ensure you're maximizing everything that Eventbrite has to offer, like email campaigns and paid social ads with Eventbrite Boost. Michelle, there is a free trial if you wanted to test it out for this last 48-hour push. And then always remember to test things on mobile, because that is where your audience is. And then Brittany left us with the empowering message to be true to ourselves, to find your niche and then own it. The way to build an authentic brand with a truly dedicated following is to stay true to and to always stand up for your audience's values. Do not stray to that latest trend. Stick with your audience and they'll stick with you. You know, those are just 3 of my takeaways for today, but there are so many others. And marketing is ever evolving. So keep an eye out on Eventbrite's blog for a full recap of today's talks and a ton of other marketing resources. Our speakers again today, and thank you all again for being here with us, for engaging with us in the chat. If you haven't seen it already, our team is sharing a survey link. We really appreciate your feedback on today's session. We want to make these better and better for you. If you plan on sharing anything from today on social media, let's use that hashtag Reconvene so that we can share the love. If you have any questions relating to the Eventbrite platform, you can check out our help center. There you'll be able to answer all of your technical needs. And then just another plug about Boost. We heard Prashant talk about it. It is our all-in-one event marketing platform, really built to help you sell more tickets and grow your business. If you want to learn more about Boost, visit eventbrite.com/boost. It has everything from email templates, social media campaign guidance, data-driven targeting and reporting. Again, that's eventbrite.com/boost. Our team is dropping those links in the chat. And I have another just really quick update on our Reconvene Accelerator program, which I hope some of you applied for. For those who aren't aware, Reconvene Accelerator provides direct support to event creators through a $10,000 award, mentorship, and networking. And on June 21st, that's next week, we will be announcing our finalists for the program, and we need your help picking our winners. From June 21st to June 29th, you'll be able to vote for your favorite event idea, and we're going to bring it to life. So stay tuned and get ready to vote. The best way to stay in the loop about all of our upcoming programs is to follow Eventbrite's organizer profile on the Eventbrite platform. Follow us on social media. Let's keep this conversation going. And our next event is going to be on August 23rd. It's going to focus on managing growth, and we're going to discuss all the things to expect as you're expanding your event. So I hope to see you there. Thank you all for joining us today. See ya.